So let's get to that next game. Pac-12 title game. We will be there. Oregon versus Washington. The number 3 versus the number 5 team in the country. What do you think?
Big number, Ace.
Oregon,
9.5.
Yeah. Total's at 66.5.
Yeah. So this number opened at 7.5. So what that tells me is they opened over a touchdown. So they initially, right off the bat, knew where the public was probably going to go, and that would be with Washington seeing that 7 with the hook. It got steamed up to 9.5. I'm still saying, man, you fucking hammer Oregon, whereas we would say, ring Oregon in, take Oregon to that fucking bank, okay? There's so many. I have a laundry list of why we should take Oregon.
Please tell
us.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, so Oregon, since their loss to Washington, is only averaged on defensively giving up 16 points a game. As you guys know, Washington, the last 3 games, have escaped every single game. I had Washington State last week. Cam Ward should have won that game.
I agree.
They beat Oregon by 2 points. They were tied with USC until the middle of the fourth quarter. I feel like Washington should have already gotten at least 1 or 2 losses. So I think they shouldn't. I don't even think personally. I don't think they deserve. Obviously, they're undefeated, but they, from a talent standpoint, do not deserve to be in this game. Oregon's going to absolutely annihilate them. And Friday night, you're going to see them pour it on. I'm saying 14-21. Lanning's going to have these guys fired up.
Wow.
They're going to town.
I'm convinced.
They're going to town.
Dropping his puzzo on freaking Washington.
I thought last week the line was not going to be this high because I thought Oregon was going to whoop their ass. I've somehow not convinced myself that Oregon is not, but I think they will as well. But who knows? I just think Washington, the last 4 games that they've played have been terrible. Arizona State, Washington State, they barely squeaked out all of these last 4 games.
Yeah. Stanford.
Yeah, the Stanford game, all of them. The last 4 or 5 games.
9 point over Stanford.
Yeah, the last 4 or 5 games they played. But does that tell you the team is maybe battle-tested team, et cetera, et cetera? Does that tell you, you know what?
I mean,
they can feel, like, number one, we've beat these guys 2 times in a row. Like, we've beat Bo Nix twice in a row. Yes. We've had tough games. We've managed to build and come back. If Washington is down 14 early, 21 early, can they get back in the game?
In a neutral site.
In a neutral site where I think it's going to be
wild.
It's going to be insane. It's probably going to be 60-40 Oregon. And if the public money's on Oregon, it's going to be 70-30, 80-20 Oregon. But I just, that's the only thing I feel. With the line being 9.5, I feel like a backdoor cover is just coming to stab you in the neck. I really do.
That's definitely, that's always possible. I hope that you didn't bring a bad jinx upon me. But
no, trust me, I like Oregon. Last week, the week before, I thought whoever Oregon's gonna play, I think they're gonna annihilate them. They're gonna annihilate them. That's what I feel.
This team's clicking on all cylinders 100%, and kind of like what we already talked about. But I also had a little bit of stats for you guys. So Washington's 124th in the pass and 112th on pressuring the quarterback.
Wow.
Oregon, guess what they are? They are first in passing yards and first in sacks allowed. So
wow.
I think they're the number 1 ranked defense in the country.
That's so great stats.
I don't see any pressure coming Bo Nix's way, and on top of that, they have all the motivation and the emotional coach. I just think this is
even in that first game.
Oregon should have won.
Oregon should have won that game.
The coach lost that game for them. There's no doubt. But Michael Penix drives the field. They win the game. He's done that 5, 6, 7 times now this year.
Yeah.
That's my only doubt is that right there. That the man has managed to win these games.
And in those tough 39s, Ace, or those big downs, Penix goes to his number 1 receiver, back shoulder. It seems like no one can stop that play. And I just, I agree with you. I think Oregon should run away with this game. I like your pick, Ace. I love your pick, man.
What do you think about the total?
I appreciate it, man. I hope I see you at the cash counter, my guy. But
Ace, what do you think about the total?
I honestly, I was actually leaning under just the way that Oregon's team has been playing defensively, and I think Oregon can play 2 ways. So I think that if Penix is having some success, they're going to just kind of how they did that Oregon State opening drive. They'll pound the rock and hold it for 8 minutes, and they'll execute and they'll play smash mouth football. I don't think Oregon's your stereotypical Pac-12 team. I think they're just as physical as the SEC team. So I think it's a huge mismatch. I think they could air it out with Knicks and get chunk plays whenever they need to. They also could take the will and heart out of Washington and execute 7-8 minute drives.
Where do you think Oregon stands? Not in the polls, but in your opinion, where are they in the top 4? Do you have them as being a top 4? Do you have them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Where do you have Oregon sitting in the college football as far as best team?
So, we talking odds to win it, like who I think like realistic?
No. If we're just looking, if we look at just who are your top 4 teams,
Yeah,
like
rank your top 4 teams.
Doesn't matter
right
where.
now without like does it matter? Like, can I throw Florida State bullshit out the window?
Yes,
Yeah, of course you can.
Yes.
Okay. So Michigan number 1 right now, Georgia number 2, Oregon number 3. Flip a coin, Bama or Ohio State for 4.
Wow, we like
Rafa
Ace.
absolutely loves that.
Yeah,
Rafa loves your top 4.
Because I'm one of those guys that I think that if Bama beats Georgia, I think Bama should be in the playoff.
Yeah, I do too, 100%.
And all these
You
guys
knocked
on
out
fucking
those- yeah.
TV keep telling all these fucking idiots that it should be Texas.
Because they have to be.
No, it doesn't.
Please, Ace, do you think the head-to-head Bama versus Texas should matter this late in the year, considering that game was in week 2, considering
In Tuscaloosa.
right, considering since that day that Texas has a loss to Oklahoma, who's since lost 2, and Bama has none. And then if they win next week, we'll have a win against the team that's been number 1 in the country for 15 fucking weeks, or 14 to 15 weeks.
For 3 years almost.
Does that not hold any ground for anybody? What do you think, Ace?
I like how he loaded that question up with all those facts he gave me. Before he had to answer. No, I mean that. So you could go either way on this one. I'm not trying to sit on the fence, but that's the reason they play the game, so it should matter.
It should.
But is Bama the same team that from the second week? Absolutely not. So Milrose 10 times better. Their defense is clicking on all cylinders. So yes, it should matter, but no, it doesn't matter. They should be in the playoffs. They're one of the 4 best teams. And
Damn
they
right.
would absolutely smoke. They would smoke Texas.
Roll Tide, baby.
Well, let's clip this.
Yeah, I ain't saying that Roll Tide, my guy.
Now you're taking it too far, Rafa.
Roll Tide, baby.
So let's clip this. Aces picks.
Hey, Columbus, real quick, in Columbus, what they say when someone says Roll Tide, you go, Roll Tide. Fuck you.
Love it.